Get ready. It's time for a well-deserved break, Pittsburgh, with Heather Abraham and David Highfield from the KDKA TV studios. It's Pittsburgh Today Live.
You know the show is starting. Hi, everybody. We're in the middle of an oatmeal conversation.
Is there any other better flavor than brown sugar?
No, but what I was saying was if you do the variety pack, then you appreciate the brown sugar even more whenever you've had a day of peaches and cream or something else.
If you mistakenly buy a variety pack.
You just want to, but if you have brown sugar every day, do you like it as much?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. I don't know.
Penetrating questions here to start our Thursday.
And just so you know, it is Thursday. Apparently, Google has registered a surge of searches for what day of the week it is. So as we remind you most days what day it is, there is a reason for that.
Right, exactly. I mean, this is real. Like,
it's real.
Things are blending together, and people are actually Googling what day of the week is it. So it is Thursday, in case you wondered. And if you're thinking about trying to get away this summer, because a lot of people at this point are wondering, what can I do to get away just for a little bit? Exactly. Yeah, somewhere out of your home.
Anywhere but here.
Yes. So there's a little bit of hopeful news. Disney World plans to reopen its theme parks on July 11th. So the Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom are going to be the first to open, and then July 15th, Epcot and Hollywood Studios will open. Visitors are going to be required to wear a mask, and they won't have everything that they normally have.
Right.
They're not going to have fireworks, no parades, no meet and greets with the characters, but they are planning to reopen, and I think that's probably a good sign.
Yeah, it's interesting because we also got word that several hotels, I think over a dozen hotels in Las Vegas, are also planning to reopen. So we're starting to see a little bit more of this, but everybody will have their own safety plans in place and precautions that will need to be followed. And in the case of Disney, the governor still needs to sign off of that on that in Florida.
Right. Obviously, lots of social distancing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And a little bit later on in the show, we are going to talk about what do you do if you need to cancel your vacation plans.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to go. Maybe things have changed. Maybe someone in your family is sick. A lot of things are happening right now.
Yeah, or maybe you made plans and now you've decided, I don't want to go that far away.
Right.
Or maybe you're not comfortable getting on a plane right now. Or, you know. So anyway, we're going to talk about some options, some things that you can do, some steps you should take to try to save money, not lose money in the deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people have been working from home right now, but there have been a lot of conversations happening about what happens when people actually go back to the office. What does the office space look like when you get back?
And I think it's going to look very different, and there have been lots of articles about this. New York Times, National Geographic. One of the things they say is the idea of having an open office where there are no barriers, like
those really cool spaces that we saw.
No. Going away. Like now, the trend is going to be towards having like see-through barriers between desks to try to protect people as much as possible.
What was the movie, The Internship, where they had the slide at Google? I don't know if that actually exists or not, but
there's a place on the north side, an advertising company, that has a slide from the top floor down.
So things like that.
Things like that will probably not be used in, you know, who knows?
Take the stairs, not the slide.
Right. Exactly. The other thing they're talking about, and this is a trend with more companies too, sharing desks. Because as people work different shifts more often in companies, and they're a little bit more free about when you put your hours in, companies were having these shared desks, and that may go away because, you know, there's more potential to spread germs that way.
I'm okay with that one.
What, having shared desks?
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the shared desk idea.
I don't like it either, because you want to be able to
personalize your space.
Personalize your space, and also I think, you know, I don't want to have to come in and the first thing I think, I'm going to wipe all this down.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's just, I don't know. I mean, maybe
you have your picture. What do you put your picture? You get a designated drawer to put your pictures in every day. You come in.
Right, you put your picture up. Okay, here's my picture.
Now this is my desk. It'll be your desk later.
Yeah, you like to personalize it a little bit because it just makes it feel homier and more special or something, and it's nice to be able to look down and see loved ones nearby.
Yeah, I have pictures of my kids at my desk, and so every once in a while I'll just glance over. It gives me that like mental break, like, you know.
Yeah, makes you smile.
Hey, I love you.
Oh, yeah. It's important to have that.
Right.
Also, and this is something I'd never heard of, using more materials like copper, because apparently it's less hospitable to germs. It does not remain on copper as long. They also talked about ventilation systems changing, increased cleaning, of course, and if there is a conference room that's still going to be utilized, there'll be hand sanitizer, people wear masks, you know, sort of the future of what may happen.
But boy, what an expense for companies, right? I mean,
It's
if
true.
you do have one of these open space areas, work areas, thinking about doing all of these things, getting copper in your bill. I mean, things like
It
this
absolutely
cost money.
costs
And
money.
that,
Even increased cleaning alone costs more money.
Right.
So it's
plexiglass being installed.
Right.
Yeah, it's all happening. Okay, so the other thing that came out is this study by Niche. I always say that.
I think it's Niche. Yeah.
I always want to say it wrong.
What?
But
Niche?
it's a Pittsburgh-based company.
Right.
And so they interviewed 21,000 students, high schoolers and college-age students across the country to find out how they felt about returning to the classroom. And most of them said, if there's online learning, we're not interested. We would rather be back in the classroom.
Yeah, and I understand this. I understand the need to want to go back because I think online, I mean, it just becomes exhausting to try to do it that way. And the course is just, I mean, I know teachers are being very creative and trying to figure out how to do it online, but they're not as effective in a lot of cases. You can't do everything that you can do in person. And so some of the college students are saying there should be a tuition refund or should be reduced in some way because if I'm just getting online classes, that's not what I signed up for, not what I'm paying for.
And right now we're talking about traditional learning, but when you think about some of the things like science labs or, you know, if you are at a technical school and learning how to become a mechanic, how do you do that without being hands-on and having that visual instruction
There's
in
no
person.
online welding class.
Right, exactly. So this is really interesting, and we're all waiting to see what happens here in the state of Pennsylvania and more locally with some of our schools in Western PA.
Yeah. All right, now we're going to talk about baby names, because there's a lot of responsibility. This can become nerve-wracking for parents about picking a name. And there's sort of an interesting trend. The trend is to go back to names that were popular like way back. Like we're talking 1800s, like 1880s. So names like Grace and Emma and Ella.
Love them, so pretty.
They're fantastic names, but Heather and David, not as popular as you would think.
It's so funny because when you think about like not 1880s but like 1980s when I was born, like the 80s names, Jessica, Tiffany, Heather, Jennifer, right?
Yes.
Vanessa, all of those fun names. Well, anyways, yeah, so they are going back in time. And so we wanted to share this with you. This is from 2018. This brings us to our list, hey, by the way. These are the boy names that were most popular in 2018 in Pennsylvania.
So Liam is number 1, Noah is number 2, Benjamin number 3, Mason number 4, 5 is Michael. I could have been a Michael. My mom said I was either going to be David or Michael, and if I had been a girl, I would have been Heather. And
you know, I do think, I don't know how traditional, but David seems like a more traditional name and not something that's...
Yeah, David is a name that I think, throughout the ages, people will be named David.
Right.
It's not some trendy name, no, I grant you that, but it's a solid name.
What was like the first really out there name? Apple? Was it Gwyneth Paltrow and Apple?
Apple.
Is that her daughter's name?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, Jill's telling us, yes, that is correct. Okay. All right, now let's look at the girl names.
Apple is not on this list.
No.
So, again, Pennsylvania, 2018, top names, Emma, Olivia, Ava, Charlotte, and Sophia.
I love all those names, too. I'm down with these popular names.
Very pretty, very popular.
Yeah, very popular.
We liked the name Charlotte when I was pregnant with Lila. And then, what's-her-face had Charlotte. The princess, you know, what's her name?
Oh.
She's not a princess.
So you decided,
like
you decided no to Charlotte because Princess Kate had Charlotte?
Well, you know when that happens, that all of the baby...
Okay.
I love
so there's
that
gonna be a
name.
lot of Charlottes.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. All right.
So we backed off.
Yeah.
And now she's Lila.
Much like my mom was named Judy in an era where everybody was named Judy because of Judy Garland. Yeah.
Which is fine, but then you have, you know, 15 Judys in the same class.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which Judy number 1, Judy number 2. All right, this is interesting too. So the PG also in this article that they did on baby names says it's not only these names from the past, but traditional last names are being used as first names, and I like these.
Yeah.
Harper, Logan, Mason.
I think they're cute.
They're very cute.
Hey, you name your own baby whatever you want. you know?
Right.
You pick it. Fitting. Sometimes you
It's
have
true.
to look at them.
That's
You
how
know?
you tell?
Yeah,
can
you
tell
look like
more.
a Mason. Okay.
All right, we have a
fits.
question for you. Is there someone famous who has inspired you and really changed your life? Like someone that you see in the movies or on TV or a leader of some sort that has really moved you in such a way?
I bet this is especially true if you are an inspiring actress or an actor or
Right.
something
Oh, that's
like that.
true, yeah.
So there's a new show on Apple TV. This is a 10-part series that's coming called Dear ...
Right. And the whole premise is it profiles famous people, but it includes these letters from fans, and then the famous people get to see what the fans have written, and sometimes it's kind of an emotional thing. So we have a clip. This is Lin-Manuel Miranda, yeah, I should get that right, who, of course, was behind Hamilton. He's the Broadway dynamo. And let's just watch a little bit of this clip to see what kind of reaction he has.
Dear Spike.
Dear Lynn.
Dear Stevie.
Dear Oprah.
Dear Gloria.
Dear Big Bird.
Dear Jane.
Dear Allie.
Dear Yara.
Dear Misty.
Your influence on me changed the course of my life.
Dear Gloria.
Dear Jane.
Dear Misty.
Dear Steve.
There's a line from In the Heights that says, wherever we go, we rep our people. Because of you, wherever my life takes me, I will always represent my people.
Thank you, Dulce. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that does get you.
Do you know what that reminds me of, though?
What?
CBS has this great, and you may have seen it at home, this great series called Note to Self, I believe it is. And
Okay.
and it's where someone writes a note to their younger self.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
And those are so powerful, too. And this
Yeah.
reminds me so much of that.
Yeah, that's a very neat thing. I
Yeah.
like that idea. Yeah,
It's really
write a note to
incredible.
your younger self. All right, we want to mention tomorrow is Friday, and that means it's our Friday free for all. So ask us anything. We will get lots of questions, hopefully, and we'll answer as many as we possibly can tomorrow. And you laugh, Heather.
Well, within reason. I mean, you know, you can ask us anything. I don't know if we'll answer all of them.
But yeah, we don't answer everything. But Selena always says she's willing to answer everything. She's an
is.
open book.
She really is.
All right, that's tomorrow. But first, it's today. And as we mentioned, it is Thursday, and we have a lot planned for today's show, including the latest quarantine trend for some area teens. They're raising baby ducks.
Look how cute.
Oh, wow, they follow them around and everything. See why they say these ducklings fit the bill for passing time in a pandemic coming up.
Ba-dum-bump. And we're
Ba-dum-bump.
live with our friend and comedian Aaron Cliver. And Dad, as you can see, playing a game of scavenger hunt over Zoom. You can try this with your friends too. What we ask him to find in his own home is just ahead.
Plus, do you have a timeshare or vacation plans that you'd like to cancel given the uncertain times we're living in? See how to terminate your travel plans coming up.
It's all ahead on this rainy Thursday, May 28th, 2020. Thanks so much for watching PTL. We're glad you're with us.